question is, what made you realize that you had to change? And then also a personal question of how she knows that her husband is into something that she does not want and doesn't know how to confront him. For me, the change began a lot with boundaries. I had gotten away with a lot of things in my life of just being able to sweet talk my way out of it. People in addiction are very good at smooth talking, very charming. But my wife wasn't having any of my charm. She said, if you want to make this work, there's several things you have to do. One of them was getting into therapy. Luckily, I landed with a very good therapist who gave me a lot of choices of, do you want to make this work with your wife? Do you want to go your own way? I said I wanted to make it work, and she really guided me through a lot of things that were very helpful to me meeting my wife and reconciling that relationship and that marriage. And a lot of it having to do with doing a lot of inner work to change my behaviors, my thoughts, my patterns, and get out of a lot of stuff that I had really just tunneled into. And do I wish things had gone differently? Yes. I wish at that moment that I had come forward and I had said, hey, I did all these things wrong, but I didn't. I wish when it had been exposed, I hadn't lied, but I did. I really had a lot of resistance because I had built such a protective shell around myself that any change was just too much. I was going to shatter. It just felt like a glass house of protection, which, as we all know, glass houses aren't very protective and they can shatter quite easily. It's not unreasonable that if you take your boundary to your husband and say, I cannot tolerate this anymore, that he will get probably defensive. He will try to lie about it, promise the moon and the stars and the world, sweet talk, and reset everything back to the way it was. But a boundary is essentially you going to someone and saying, I don't like the relationship where it is right now. I don't like what's happening. I invite you over here with me. And that person then has the choice to eventually move over with you and support, and you grow together, or they stay where they're at, they fight, they kick, they scream, and the relationship can often sever at that point. That was said to me once, and I was like, that's a fantastic way to view it. And he may try all these things, but you're going to hold on to your boundary, which is why it's so important to set up what you want, and so that you can enforce it. If you want him to go into therapy, if you want him to meet with like a coach or a CSAT or a licensed therapist, whatever you choose as what is important to you for him to get the help he needs, you need to say that that's what's expected of him. And then he has the option to move with you and meet you there and comply with what he wants, or he doesn't. And then the relationship could move forward or end. The decision for me to change did not happen overnight. But the more I saw and put as a priority that I wanted my relationship to work, and the more that my wife held on to her boundaries of what she was going to accept and didn't accept, my decision to then move over did inspire a lot of the change, where we were able to connect, where we were able to grow, and where the change really took root in my heart to then have me lead and have me support her in a lot of ways that I wasn't before. I hope that helps.